Well, Lenny, thank you very much. The reason why we have so many people blessing us this morning, especially our sponsors, is because of this gentleman here, Mr. Edward Owusu. Thank you very much. As you smile your way in shock. Anyway, if you are with us on Monday, right? We're also honored on a visit from my director from Globe Media Alliance Broadcasting, Tim Kakari, who's joining here this morning with us with Mr. Edward. So also looking very, very serious, yes. I like that. But as you're all, in black, I think the message is quite clear that regardless, we are mourning, the tragedy and the loss of our friends, our fathers, our uncles, our brothers who died tragically in the helicopter crash that happened on the 6th of August, Wednesday morning. Today they are being buried. We'll be switching over to the Independence Square briefly, also put that in picture here for you this morning so we can be seeing exactly what's happening. But this morning's conversation was a follow-up to our convo on Monday when we're discussing the relationship between media houses and tertiary institutions, especially their whole weeks and the SRC week celebrations, and how both brands can leverage on each other to create harmony and get how do I put it?
Mutually beneficial.
Mutual benefits. Thank you very much for 3 points. Mutual benefits between the two brands. However, so since you both are here and you're all again, how do I want to describe this, but something has happened to us as a nation, and it's only right that we touch on that lightly. Earlier on, we're having a very interesting conversation here on this whole Galamsey. I'll come to the SRC week celebrations, please, but we were trying to understand what could be the real solutions to this issue of Galamsey, and this is not on any political ground. This is just on a national agenda on how we can really resolve this issue on Galamsey. And I'm putting this question to you with this preamble that let's understand that there is education. There is, we mentioned 3 things, Len, if you can help me out. There was education, lack of education. There was the mindset that people think that is their fundamental human rights to be able to go there and touch anything that they see there because it is for us Ghanaians.
And then entitlement. Now people are daring governments that if you dare touch us, you pay the price for it. But so looking at all these things happening, what do you think should be a strategy that really we should look at, because now its effects is the reason why we are here this morning, all in black, mourning the death of people who were caught up in the line of duty, and unfortunately now families have become victims to this, and not only them per se who crashed, but even for mothers and fathers who are in these pits as well, who put their lives at risk. What do you think should be a direction for us to look at to resolve this thing from our own personal opinions, devoid of our brands and our affiliations and everything? But Tim, since you are more of a guest here, let me start off with you.
Thank you, Jay, and good morning to your viewers and your listeners.
Good morning.
This question is a loaded one. Why do I say so? Because when you were speaking, first of all I thought of leadership, but then I moved from leadership to education, and I moved on from education to employment, and I moved on from employment to opportunities. See, if the initial decisions should be leadership decision, crack it down, that's the initial. But if you do that only, and in the next 6 months to 1 year, there's no hope of the young man in Adansi Asokwa somewhere who may not have had a good education but wants to feed his family and wants to work and is not enlightened, there is no education and is not educated, they are going to go back there. So apart from leadership, apart from education, apart from creating opportunities for every young person, irrespective of your educational background, the last week we were talking about the data.
Yes,
73.8% of the people in this country are 35 years and below. In fact, if you even expand it to 40 years and below, that's 78%. That's huge. That's serious, and that's dangerous. It's dangerous because in the other world, in the Western world, in the East, in China, where I schooled, this data is threatening. And so, in the past, now they have an aging population, but when they had a young population, that's when they decided to do this opening up, this policies that brought in a lot of investment into the country to make sure that the young people have work to do. But it's not only about Ghana. It extends to Africa. Our African leaders finally signed the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, something Kwame Nkrumah had been talking about years ago. Finally, they signed it. Is it 4 years or 5 years ago? But how is it doing? That thing was projected to create jobs for millions of Africans on this continent, because you could produce your cassava here and you could easily take it to Nigeria, easily take it to Rwanda without any trade barriers to be able to sell. That would enhance the economy. The problem is beyond, of course, immediately leadership must take those decisions, but it's beyond that. We must, and I would say our leaders, all of us must think about sustainable ways of sustaining our young people, and that is creating jobs and creating opportunities for every young person. Beyond that, the next one to talk about is values in our society. Jay, when we're growing up, there was something called Sikedro, so people will not associate with anybody that they think is Sikedro or they think is this. But now that's not there any longer. All people care about is to make money. All people care about is to make money and flaunt on social media. Now nobody cares where person A or person B got his money. Because of influence of digital, social media, our values are gradually being chipped away. Now the richest in the church gets to be appointed as the chairman of the church committee or the chairman of the church fundraising committee or whatever. Nobody questions the source of wealth. So for me, beyond leadership, beyond education, our value fabric as a nation.
Now, where did this alter? Where did it change? When did it change? At what point in time? Because it's hard to. And values is a big conversation.
There are a number of things. So look at our cartoons. What are even our children watching now? My cousin was telling me about the Chinese New Year and Halloween. Now have you been to US? But that's my baby cousin. Then she was 4 years old, because that's what she watches on YouTube, and that's what she watches on the decoder. But my problem is, what have we done as a nation to protect these values? Elsewhere, like the China that I studied, even movies, they vet it before it comes. There are some box office movies that do not show in those countries. I remember there's a particular cartoon. Their leaders thought that the main figure in that cartoon looked like their president in a very funny way. So they thought that cartoon was mimicking. It was banned. It couldn't be aired in China. But and at that time, I think it's just 2 years ago that India overtook China in terms of the population. But at that time, China was the world's had the world's largest population.
India is taking over.
Yes, I saw that data I think 2 years ago, but I don't know if it's changed, because they were very close. That's 2 years ago. I don't know if it's changed. But at that time, you needed to do business in China. You needed the Nikes and whatever because of the population. So you needed to tap into. So if they decide that this is what it's going to be, it's going to be. So you, the businessman or the investor, must adjust to still be in that country, because you want to not take advantage. You want to tap into the population that they have. So for me, back to the question, Jay, it's a bigger conversation that we think. But first of all, of course, leadership must lead. But it's not only that. We have to look at our values. We have to look at our education, opportunities for young people. It's a big thing, Jay.
People feel very entitled, Eddie, to to the fact that it is on their land, it's on their soil. They why do some people have access to it and we don't? And you haven't. They feel government must give them jobs to do. If not, they will have to find their own jobs, be it legal or illegal. That's where we are at. I'm taking your opinion on this as well, on the best ways you think we should tackle this. But before that as well, I don't know if you've been to the grounds already at the Independence Square. Give us a fair sense of what's happening there.
Oh, the mood is very solemn. Everybody's there. It tells you how much, this has shaken the whole nation, and you realize it from the way people, from their demeanors, from their postures, and all of that.
Yes.
So this is a huge blow to the country, and I think we should always remember the family of the lost souls in prayers all the time.
looking at the impact of this, are you expecting a certain reaction? And I'm saying this because I'm taking us back to very tragic incidents like May 9th, for example, when the stadium disaster. Yeah. I'm taking us to days like the Hacho, was it Madina or Hacho?
The fire.
The fire, yeah, the gas fire, the explosion. I'm taking us to the town that got something exploded. Yes, where we had the blast, right? The blast, where the whole country had to rush there, and there was. Do you think
that the Elwak incident as well?
Elwak,
the plane. There was a plane that ran.
Yeah, that ran off. The tarmac
and hit people.
Yes, looking at as Ghanaians, our reactions from some of these things. Do you expect, and this again is devoid of any political affiliation, do you see or feel any sense of a certain very strong solution to curb this menace?
I have been on a number of media platforms. From the narratives that I'm getting, this particular incident has not been as politicized like usually things are. So I believe this gives the right opportunity to be able to start having these conversations. Luckily, these people that died in the line of duty are people who were really, really committed to ending the Galamsey fight. Dr. Omane Boama had said it severally, considering his position as well. So for me, I think it sets the tone to start having the conversations. And since this happened, I've realized that the conversations have been around this, and I've heard people suggesting that we nip this in the bud to the memory of these people that have left. So I think it's not just a conversation at the left for leadership. I think for governance, media doesn't need to end this conversation. The communities in which these mining are also happening, have a role to play as well. So I think it sets the tone for a conversation, and I believe that the conversation is not going to end.
Okay.
And this will, yeah.
I have an interesting question for both of you now. We've seen a larger part of the popular part of the country. When I say the popular part, I mean those who have access to social media to air their thoughts, media houses, a bit of affluence. Those who carry a certain affluence and influence are the ones who are really talking about this. Do you think this message has trickled down to the people who are involved in Galamsey?
I think there's a lot of work to do, and that is why
because today maybe I should just give you guys the chance to see this footage. Producer, if you can just go back to the women who were ranting.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that footage.
Yes.
Who were ranting heavily because they are from something.
One of the
Manso.
They were arrested.
Yes.
The police
yes.
did an operation.
Yes.
And they stood in the way of the police.
This clearly happened after. I know the team will work on that, but I'm glad you've seen that footage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that these women, in consideration of what happened, care about solving this issue very much? I know it's a tough question though, but this incident happened after the crash. Do you think that the information has trickled down to the right people to understand that this is killing us?
I think Tim touched on it, and when he mentioned the fact that education is important. So clearly, the sensitization hasn't gotten there. Also, usually, these community folks are major stakeholders when it comes to the minerals within their space, in terms of the minerals that they've been blessed with.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why usually in these conversations there is major stakeholder engagement. The government cannot get into a community to mine without going through the chief. And that is where this leadership conversation comes in.
That's the footage on the screen.
Yes. So clearly, as I said, it's multifaceted. If there were alternative livelihood opportunities for
this
these
is
guys,
present.
So this was the first video that came out before
the police.
They now came to do the more aggressive one.
Okay. Wow.
So it's that's what I'm asking. That we have for a very long time advertised, and I'm coming to media's our role in all of this. When should it become our responsibility to heavily sensitize people about this? Because these incidents are after the accident.
Jay, for me, I think the media has done the best. Trust me.
Do you think so?
No, 100%. And I will pin this on, Erastus. Erastus' career for the past 10 years has been dedicated to illegal mining. He is the guy who.
But that's just one person.
So it tells you, and Erastus, even though he's one person, the major differences that we are seeing, most of the conversation starts from Erastus's reports and all of that. Beyond that as well, in the past we've seen a coalition. I think the media has done
the media coalition against Galamsey, led by
I've seen that they've done that.
That was huge.
That was huge. So I think at this point, everything lies at the doorsteps of leadership. And this is not just about political leadership. It includes traditional leadership and, family leadership. He mentioned values. The first places that values are taught are the homes. And clearly, you've also realized that our family systems have broken down over a period of time. And leadership would also solve that problem in terms of the kind of policies that we introduce. He mentioned China. The TikTok that Chinese consume is different from the TikTok that the world consumes. Because they are...
Do also follow my TikTok, the one that you consume.
Because they are deliberate about, ensuring that they don't dilute their cultural values and all of that. And I think that is things...
So do you think Sam George is right in his fight on reduction prices with the STV?
Jay, let's continue.
You see, the people who's sitting in front of me, they will so much
Highly
waste.
political.
They will so much waste that
I haven't spoken to Joe today.
You see, guys. Let me say something. I sometimes have the chest to chest some of these things.
Yeah.
Let me say this, that in reference to China, for example, it must have taken people with, for want of a better expression, balls to take very strong decisions to safeguard their space, which in turn influence their values as we speak. That's why I brought Sam George's issue up, for example, in as much as he's a friend, and maybe I may not be in full support, because in here we've discussed that issue, for example, and then we've said that they are in different packages, allow people to choose the package they want and all of those things. But he still fights for a cause for all Ghanaians so that it becomes accessible to everyone. And that's why that brings me to the question I want to ask, that the one of the most prevalent solutions we've seen from all governments have been police, military into the forest to arrest. But in no time, our prisons would be full.
It's true.
Yeah. So would that be a solution? And because some of these things on values and things are very long term. Education. When are you going to put these women in the classroom? I mean, I said they should do voting school. People should go to school to learn how to vote.
But I also think that there's a level of education and training that they should get, because the women crying wolf, the video that's going viral is of them also saying that there are no jobs, right? Yeah. So if other jobs can be created, or they can be trained and given something that they know that they can do that will earn them money on a daily, maybe not as much as the Galamsey money is bringing them, but something close.
Yes.
Right.
And also
every day.
The other solution also lies in best practices when it comes to small scale mining. What is causing the whole problem is the fact that these guys are doing these things irresponsibly. In certain jurisdictions, as I said, the community folks are major stakeholders, and a lot of times they are entitled to a piece of the cake. So beyond all of these things as well, as I said, it's multifaceted, and for me, I wouldn't want to sound. I just want to choose my words right. I think it's multifaceted. Basically, we just need to ensure that everybody plays their roles, and ensure that it doesn't happen. Mind you, in certain communities around Ghana, they have a lot of gold, but the chiefs within those communities have ensured that these illegal minings do not happen, and there are examples of those communities. So using those communities as models, maybe we can learn from those communities and understand how.
Probably another option will be for them to be allowed to mine, but not illegally. So where they are trained properly as to how to do the mining, and then as well given the right machinery to do the mining and get registered as a small scale miner or as a small scale mining company, which will be best, because it seems like they are very fixated on the Galamsey. But it's the process that they are using that is also affecting people beyond their community.
Recently,
so they should just do
I've
it
heard
right.
of ideas of trying to put them into cooperatives, which is actually one of the solutions that some of these successful mining countries have been able to do. Usually when it's one person, the irresponsibility is high. But when you're able to put together 5 or 10 miners and say, okay, guys, this is your concession, and ensure that you mine this responsibly, especially when they are within their group, then there will be checks and balances amongst themselves. So I feel,
but in fact, this was what actually departed 8 were on their way to launch.
Yes,
they were on their way to launch the responsible cooperative mining scheme or initiative.
Yes.
But I think because of what happened, the government hasn't been able to educate us on what that properly. Initiative was and what it was going to solve. But the intention of that policy is to help solve Galamsey by bringing on board these people that Lenny said are fixated on getting part of their resources, or probably where they are limited opportunities, and so that's what they believe they can survive on. The policy or the initiative was to bring them together into cooperatives, train them, teach them how to do it right, to also reserve or preserve the environment. So that was what the Gallant 8 were on their way to Obuasi to launch, and this unfortunate incident happened. So,
you see, so that's where I tend to have a bit of. I mean, I love both the NDC and the MPP. I mean, I have friends in both. My allegiance is to both of them. Up until Nana Kwame Bidak also stepped in. I loved his energy. So me, I'm a floater. Every 4 years I look at where the flotation process is happening, and then my time will go to. That's how I am. I don't have any.
2024 went where?
2024. Oh, I think I voted for all of them.
Let's
stop this.
So
in your own interest.
I am. No. I'm a floater. I do this. Stuff. But I'm saying, I'm bringing this up that we saw the energy and the focus with which government put in creating the blue police also.
Blue Marine,
yes.
The water guards.
As an immediate means to curb this menace. Shouldn't also the energy have been put in the same into the what you're just saying as immediate? That's number one. And number two, I want to also ask that with government and media, have you seen present, past, super past, government being supportive to media, providing media whatever amenities is needed to push this issue on sensitization, education, because we do play a very major role in disseminating information. So have you seen in times past until present government being at the forefront or the table with media? Because you mentioned Erastus, and that is a one person's or a one media house's project. City FM took on drivers, irresponsible driving. Yes, that was their project. I don't know if there was any backing from government at that time in any way, and it goes on and on and on and on. That's what I'm asking. That have you seen government's intentionality to partner media to make sure that this sensitization goes on? Because I asked the first question that have the people who are mining today, the video we just played, which happened a few days ago, did they not have any respect for even the dead on what happened? Have you seen? So has there been, or there's a flaw and a gap in that in all governments that have come to pass? Because we are media people. Because I haven't seen, not people will think I'm talking money, but I haven't seen maybe let's make a J Foley a Galamsey ambassador, and then let's empower him with the very simple state resources, because he's an influencer to a certain community. Let's empower him to go, and I'm not asking for that to happen, but if you do it, well, no problem. That's empower, because maybe my voice may be louder than that of the DC or MC that they've seen and heard over and over again. Maybe Lil Wayne has been championing his movie. Look at how he's gone around to promote his movie. Maybe if Lil Wayne speaks to them one-on-one in community engagements, maybe the conversation might change. Maybe the reaction might change. Maybe he might be able to convey a better message. And just an example, I'm not saying you should go for Lil Wayne. As an example, maybe Nanama McBrown. We've seen how High Sense has engaged Nanama McBrown over the years, and now they call him Mama High Sense. That is how much
you're right.
been.
But
But
what I don't want us to do
Yeah.
is to simplify the issue. As I said, it's multifaceted. There is an economic part of it.
Yeah.
There's a social part of
Culture.
it. There's a cultural part of it. And usually, you can't touch one and leave the rest. If you are ending irresponsible mining, it means that you need to be able to provide alternative livelihood for these guys. We've seen it in the past where, you know, government has trained some of these guys in farming, in all of that. But the question is it something that they really want to do? You get where I'm coming from. So I think for me, I don't speak for government on all of these things, but we've seen the efforts within
But my question was not about the government engagement. I'm talking about government and media.
No, so I have, as I told you, clearly the collaboration is there. I have seen it. I've seen the commitment. There is no day that I don't hear radio stations or,
But
TV
that's
stations
content.
discuss Galamsey. And usually when that discussion happens, you will get the stakeholders to be able to come in and answer questions. So for me, the conversation needs not to stop. The moment the conversation dies, we have lost the battle.
Yeah, but so that's okay. Tim.
So this is what I want to add.
Yeah.
I believe what Jay is talking about is not media owners or producers or program
Yeah.
managers deciding that, oh, this is content I want to treat today, but a national campaign with broadcasters across the country. Because, in every region,
Yeah, there are community media platforms.
so there are the community radio stations,
Yeah.
there are the
Information
commercial radio
centers.
information centers. So that's
Yeah.
what I think Jay is
Yeah,
saying.
sure.
Yes.
What I don't know, like I said, what the Gallant 8 were on their way to launch
Yeah.
was the responsible cooperative mining and skills development program. I don't know the details of that
Yes.
that concept or that initiative because of what happened, the tragedy. Government hasn't been able to actually
Unpack it,
explain or unpack what that concept was. Maybe they have in there that for this period we are going to have a media campaign together with the media. If they don't have it in there, then I recommend, like based on what you are saying, that there's GIBA, there's Ghana Independent
Yeah.
Broadcast Association, where every media house belongs to. There's Ghana Journalists Association,
Yeah.
but of course the Ghana Journalists Association, they are journalists like we work for
Yeah.
for station owners, and that's GIBA. And GIBA is everywhere. They have regional coordinators across this country. So if it's not in the plan, then I think that, picking up from what you are saying, there can be that concerted effort, that deliberate effort to work with the media. Now there's a new media association as well.
Yeah.
And so if you pick them and then you pick GIBA and you put them together and have conversations with them that, look, this is a national campaign. We want to make sure it works so that every radio station, every TV station, print, everywhere we are drumming the same message. I think that it will go far. But like I said, I don't know whether that's part of this plan. If they unpack this initiative that was going to be launched by this government, maybe some of these things are in there. If it's not in there, then they should probably add it so that
my final question on this subject before we switch over to other, and I know you have to run off because big men are in the building. It's me to have a short memory. Many years ago, in the 80s, under the leadership of His Excellency, the late President, former Jerry John Rawlings, the word Galamsey was quite distant to us. It was there, but to hear it, it wasn't the top of the problems of the country. But I'm very sure the economic challenges at that time, for me, I was a kid, but I haven't seen the same problems I hear from 1980 is the same things I've heard up until today. The only new one is DSTV, but that's different. So why do you think this has become a trend now?
Jay, for me, I think the major reason why this has become a trend is, the rapid growth of technology. Before, the kind of Galamsey that I knew of was, young people scavenging of old mining pits, come back and come and wash it and get some gold out of it. But with the rapid growth of technology, the Chinese has a shamfan.
Shamfan,
Yeah, when he puts it on the water, bro, that's gold that will take you 2 years to mine. You can mine that in an hour. So technology has been liberalized, and it's not as expensive as it used to be. So when these guys, I've seen videos where, some people will call the bluff of the police to say that when you burn it, we are buying a new one tomorrow. And we are doing it.
See, and that's another problem, because now are these people the ones funding these big machinery? Because to us, we can say that they don't have that money to buy these things, or they don't even look like they have the money. If they do, you see, so that means that it's it's coming from somewhere. And for them to speak to police the way they do, it's a problem. Yes.
The other solution also lies probably in our point of entry, our ports. Because most of these things are imported. You get me?
As
so that's
earlier.
also a way to be able to find a way to control these things and ensure that, these things doesn't go into...
Who's allowing it come in? Who is clearing it from the port?
Them, because you should know the destination, wherever it is going, especially when, illegal mining has become
then that means that our approach to the fight is clearly has got an error somewhere in there. Because I do believe that solutions are supposed to solve problems. And if for the past, this Galamsey issue just peaked sometime like in the last 5 years, you understand? And and if up and from then till now, we are actually today burying the Minister of Defense and as to say 7 others, then I think that for me as a layman, as a Ghanaian living in quiet in his place in his house, minding his own business, if I'm to assess how leaders have tried to resolve the problem, then the question comes to competency. Because it's like me watching a CEO perform abysmally in a company, and you clearly see that this is not working. And it's like we're just returning the wheel, the same thing, because like you said, there are so many things to take care of, but can't we have a solution to this? We raise a point that if we keep arresting, we can't fill the prisons. You understand? If we go and sensitize them, or if we go and create jobs for them, run into the same people who built Medina overhead, and now they've turned it into this thing. So then clearly the solution that we are trying to use has got a bit of has to be relooked at, And then for me again, media, which plays a key role, because today, as they are doing this, and I say this boldly, as we are having this funeral service today, the question is that has the impact is felt amongst us heavy? Ghana forces, media, we are there covering. People are wailing, the victims, the families. But today, I'm very certain that there's serious Galamsey going on there. Shouldn't today have been dead? Even if out of respect, if they are still mining, today should have been a no mining day. So that's across Ghana, there should have been respect for the fact that people have died.
That's the
but
values,
nobody, not I just say nobody, but a certain type of people don't care. And if they don't care, if you are whipping a kid in your school because there's every day he or she is stubborn, and you keep lashing, kneel down, stand up, go to the class, and the person keeps repeating their stubbornness, at a point in time you sack the kid from the school. I'm not saying we should start Ghanaians from Ghana.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
But we are getting to a point, or are we getting to a point where we really have to look at a radical solution to resolve this problem? Because if you try to, that game that what did they call it? One of the white people that games, you use hammer to hit something to appear here, then you hit it then to appear here. Oh, what do you call those? There are big people. Is it my people that are here? You didn't grow up in there. Yes, there's some name for it.
Yeah.
You hit and the thing pops up. That's what we are doing. Yes, you hit here, then another problem pops up. You hit and then it pops up.
It's the mindset.
I'm sorry. Then I asked my last question: that should Galamsey be in any party's manifesto? No, it should be a national agenda. Nobody should campaign on Galamsey. Nobody should campaign on Galamsey. It should be something that if you come in as a government, it is your responsibility. It has to be there as one of your nobody should campaign on it, because the interpretation of how to resolve Galamsey per every government seems to be misinterpreted by the people who are on the ground. So that woman who was screaming on the screen and saying that and all those things, I wish I could find that video for you guys. Please play it for us. You notice that it's entitlement. She feels like if you don't let me do my job, what I want to do, I won't vote for you.
Yes.
Then our presidents would have to now kowtow to what the people are saying, and then try and polish the manifesto and make it sound as But when they come, the problem is staring at us.
Also, Jay, because you mentioned that the woman
We are
said
forgetting
that
SRC
she's
people.
threatening about votes, right?
Yes. I'm sorry,
We should
Lenny.
not
I want to
as-
just play for our guests to watch this video.
As people in power, right? We shouldn't use Galamsey as a point of voting or wanting to earn votes, because we saw it last year where people were saying we'll allow you to continue voting, to continue mining, or we will allow Galamsey to continue. We should keep that out
I
of
think
the
we
conversation.
can as long as
totally.
it remains a national issue, you can't take it out of the conversations when it comes to politics.
Politics, yeah.
Because
But Adi,
solution.
that is what is killing us.
So, Jay,
you see, I spoke about
See,
radical
you can't-
solutions
you
to the
can't.
problem.
And it's also lies.
Why can't we?
No, I am saying that.
Why
you
can't
you
we?
Because
take
everything
politi-
has been politicized.
Yeah,
in
you
this
can't take
country.
it out of it because it is a major conversation. And usually, when it comes to voting an election, everybody is waiting to hear your solution to that national problem.
Eddie,
get
but
me?
that is the reason why we are where we are, because we've allowed it to run for years and everybody comes to campaign on it and uses emotional intelligence to outwit people. People are emotional, whatever it is. People end up falling to, you see, at the end of the day, right? Today, again, I want to remind Ghanaians, today, we are crying. After 10,000 years of talking about Galamsey, today, a helicopter has crashed because people who are on their way to try and resolve a problem, and look at us today. So today, right, we have swayed away from the reason why they died to the pain of their death. Today, as we're seeing here right now, and I've followed conversations online. People, it is the ratio of the reason why they died to the helicopter is 99 to 1.
Yeah.
You understand?
true.
The
Everybody's talking
energy
about
has
the
all
helicopter,
been
yeah.
about the helicopter and the Ghana Armed Forces not being. Even me, I'm a victim. If you go to my videos, you catch me. I'm a victim to it. I said it. But we have spoken more about the helicopters. It is 2,000 years old, and then the pilots were this, and shouldn't. We've said all of those things, and we've forgotten that the people were on their way to resolve a national crisis.
Yeah, so
Today-
I think that's why we owe it
Today
to memories.
should have been no mining day.
Yeah.
Today, from legal to illegal, should have been no mining day. And I tell you why. Watch this video. These screams were not, oh, my neighbor, oh, Anala, oh, no. It is, who is saying, Juma? That is the screams. A few days after the Minister of Defense, en route to resolve a problem, crashed. And what was our conversation? Our conversation was about Ghana Armed Forces and how they were carried in body bags. That was sad. That was really sad. But that was the weight of the airtime. We forgot again about the reason why they were there. And for me, that is the problem.
Jay, that's why I said it's values. That's why I said it's values, Jay. See the video we just watched. Just take a look at the video. It's values. They constructed, is it 3 years ago, when people were dying because of cars were hit and knocking down people on the Medina Street? I think you even mentioned.
Yes.
It was
And
about 2018. Or
a footbridge was
2018,
constructed.
Yeah.
When it was constructed, government had to still put police there because people will still jump the median barriers
Yes.
that were there.
Okay.
Same as Kanishi. Why should we have a footbridge and we have to construct a median barrier and still put barbed wires on it because people jump? It's the mindset and the values. And so I'm saying that the initial decisions, the immediate decisions must be taken. Like I said earlier, the policy, the cooperative responsible mining initiative that this government was going to launch, probably it has strategies to deal with some of these things immediately. But we shouldn't forget about the future, sustainably, the values. For now, like you said, immediately, let's do this. But let's also have strategies to deal with the 20 years time. Strategies that are long-term. Because responsible countries and countries that think and plan, they plan for today and plan for 10 years, plan for 20 and 50 years to come. So let us not lose sight of that. Because these ladies that we saw there, they have children who are looking up to them, who are watching this attitude and watch, oh, they did this, nothing happened to them. So in our communities, what's the fiber of our culture? The values, leadership, respect, ownership,
Exactly.
citizenship. I'm a Ghanaian. The pledge, the national anthem. Do they even know it? So we have to go back to that and make sure that people are proud to be Ghanaians first and foremost. What you just saw is just a microcosm of Ghana. Go to the public services. Go to the utility companies. I'm not going to mention name. The employees themselves are shortchanging the government. The employees themselves are shortchanging people. You want to go, you go to a utility company. I'm not going to mention the name. You want to legally procure or get a service done. No, I want to do this. They will tell you, oh, in the office at the reception, they'll tell you, oh, come, go and see this person. The person comes. I said, where's my receipt? Where's the invoice? Oh, you people and your book long things. But okay, you go here, and it will take you 3 months to get that done. Meanwhile, they will. So it's Jay.
For a Ghanaian to, if your license is expire right now, the first thing is you know somebody for DVLA.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not. I'm going to DVLA. So I mean, lots of listen. Yeah, look at you. Look at your face. Look at your face.
No, but now at DVLA,
right now,
it's very
that's what I'm saying. That it's
very
been
streamlined.
done.
Now it's very streamlined.
But even in that state,
now the passport even is also very streamlined.
No. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming us as citizens that we don't want to even make the system, the process work.
Thank you.
The first thing that we want to do is to
because we do that and we get away with it,
and it's also
and it's happened over time. So it's become part of us. That's what I'm saying. The values and the culture is pathetic.
Would you want to run my guest through my 20 policies?
His 20 policies
after he had as presidential candidate.
Oh, sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, I will start.
That.
I don't know when, but I think I will start for presidency.
Yes.
I think I'll go for it. And these 20 policies, they might be mimicked today. They might sound sarcastic, but it will make.
What was the first one?
Rob, give us one.
We are wrapping up. So I'll tell myself from that.
Just give us one.
I'll allow her to. She's my. She will be my vice and my PA.
Okay.
Your vice president.
Yes.
So the
20.
first one is a rectangular Ghana.
Yeah.
Rectangular Ghana.
Yeah. You better shipping Ibium.
Oh, you changed it.
You can draw a Ghana map.
Oh yes, I can.
No. It'll be wrong.
Oh, I can draw a Ghana
You can do something close to it.
I'll get you.
You can do something
Up
close to
north
it, but
to
it
be
is
that
wrong.
apex. Then the backside like
that. Check Burkina Faso need to go then. Number 2. Hurry.
Movement of regions.
Yes, I said, you see, for a very long time, people have been entitled. People feel entitled to where they live.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to move them. You move far A region A. Now the market share C. Yeah, because maybe they would handle it better. You understand?
Newborn separated to the north.
Because you see, if you don't
newborn,
newborns.
Let me tell you,
Nkola.
because the stain of the elderly. The stain of the elderly is being felt on the young people.
Like these ladies.
Like, yes. So you see, so they are training their young people to follow up in the illegality that they have been in, and the system doesn't change. Do you understand what I'm saying? It sounds funny, eh?
No, it's
AC across Ghana.
Yeah, Ghana is shit.
AC across
AC air condition.
Ghana is shit.
Snow importation.
Yes, because you see, because we have good weather, because we have very good weather. There's a lot of pressure on the environment because people are out. Now, 2 degrees at all.
Okay. So you bring that in,
we'll freeze the country.
Then it drives people inside.
Yeah, inside. Less pressure on the economy. When there was COVID, I drove through the principal streets of Accra, and I was impressed at the neatness. I said, wow, Accra is so nice. And no president has been able to give us that level of neatness. You know why? Because
sperms and egg export.
We want to create more Ghanaians in the diaspora.
All street names changed to J. Foley Street.
Yeah, because I have a
J. Foley. But if you change the street name to your name, we will oust you.
Oh, you wait. There are more to hold it.
President only uses V12.
Nobody else.
Holiday during
nobody else
season.
drives a V12.
Now where? Oh, president.
Holidays during rainy season.
And we agree.
No, Jay, some of your policies were exciting, but the two, all street named after J. Foley, and president only drives me to off.
No. Why are
you,
other people? Have you seen the road?
Are you
Accra,
a different breed than all Ghanaians?
Have you seen the Pokwasi road? You see what's happening at the Pokwasi road?
But are you a different breed than all Ghanaians that you want every name to be named after you, and you want to be the only one to drive a V12?
See, these are the people who fight me. These are the people who fight me opposition.
No,
but they will fight me opposition because I won't allow them to this thing. But save the rest for last later.
I'll end at 10.
The 10th one was
free subscription for all apps.
Yes. That one, me and Sam are discussing something.
I'm not saying of CapCut.
He
did this because of CapCut.
But gentlemen, I mean, that's on a lighter note. But thank you so much. I know we didn't get time to even touch on the real reason why we're here, but just for the fact that the day demands a certain conversation, we had to just switch that up. Blessing the students at the University of Ghana, Legon, SRC, they are having their whole week celebrations. It's going to be crazy. So if you're around and you want to pass by, you can also join them in there. But thank you so much, Tim and Eddie, for joining me here this morning on the show. Truly, truly grateful. And again, I know when I call on you, you'd always be here. But it's been an insightful conversation. We're back here.
That's only saying that we'll call on you again for the actual conversation.
Yes. I don't want to put a date to it, but I know that when you call on them, they'll definitely come in. The 20th one that we last before we wrap, but the 20th one was the last one.
The 20th one is what you just mentioned.
No, 19.
I forget that. Let me just mention that.
19.
Okay, 19.
Yes.
Policy number 19 will be change names of a lot of towns.
Yes. When I'm reading the names, it's confusing. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A, A, B, B. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being guests with us and watching us live on the show. We have an amazing weekend, and may the souls of the dearly departed rest in perfect peace.